Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Orlando, and today we're talking about how can you get into your first property with no money down, and we're talking about seller financing. Seller financing is a really creative way to get into real estate. And so let's jump right into it. So what is seller financing? Seller financing is when you, the buyer, go to the seller and the seller is basically the bank. They go, instead of giving you money, they work out a payment arrangement for you to purchase the property. Now, there can be many reasons for that, and we're going to go into the reasons that you should look out for. And the main reason for that is that the seller in some ways will come out better by doing the seller financing in certain situations. And then you, on the other hand, maybe you won't get traditional financing. And as we're talking about the no money down financing, this allows you to get in where they will quote unquote loan you, even though it's on a promissory note, they will lend you the money at 100% loan to value. And that's what we're looking for, right? Getting into your first rental property at 100% loan to value with no money down. This is one of the great ways. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons and why this is important, guys. I need you to listen to this. You have to know the reasons why the seller is doing what they're doing. Why are they giving you 100% financing? We're going to get into it. So let's jump into what are the pros and cons for the seller. And why is this important for you who are trying to get into your first property? You guys need to know what is the motivation for a seller selling you a property doing seller financing. This will tell you a lot about the transaction, tell you a lot about the property, and it's just a must. You have to know the other side of the equation, guys. So pro number one, the reason why a seller wants to sell you his property and do seller financing is he's having trouble selling the property to begin with. Maybe it's the neighborhood, maybe it's the price too high. We don't know what the issue is, but he is having trouble selling the property. Let's just say it's been on the market for 100 days and nothing has happened. He or she, the seller, will say, you know what, it's probably better if I can get someone who will buy this property through seller financing than through traditional financing. Maybe the property itself won't even qualify based on inspections and everything else for traditional financing. This one is a big one, guys. Another pro is because the seller will try to sell you the property as is, meaning he won't have to make any repairs, he won't have to do anything. Even if you get an inspection done and you see the roof and all that other stuff, he or she will not fix it. They will basically say it's an as-is property and that's the way you're buying it. So that's another reason why a seller will be willing to do seller financing, getting away from spending extra money fixing things. 3, they're making a higher interest rate on their investment. Let's look at this, guys. The seller is selling you the property probably at a higher than market value or even close to market, right? You may or you may not get a deal on the property, but then he's financing it and making 7, 9% on the interest rate. He sold it as is. He's getting rid of property tax and insurance. But then on the opposite end, he's making about the same amount of money that he would normally have made during the rental process because he doesn't have those things of what I just spoke about, which is the insurance and taxes. I mean, it sounds like a sweet deal for him, right? I mean, that's the way it is. And the last pro is that I'm going to combine these two. They can sell the promissory note to another investor, or if you stop making payments, they get the house back. So those are the pros. And as you see, it sounds a little sweet for the seller, right? It really does. And this is the reason why you need to understand the other side and the reason why I included this, so you know the other side of the reason why the seller is selling you a building or a property and he's giving you seller financing. You have to look at all of this. So the cons for the seller are this, and these are really quick cons, right? So 1, the seller is going to have to go through and spend some money and go through court if they want to get back the property once a buyer decides to stop making payment. And that's something that they can't get around. They're still going to have to go to court. They're still going to have to do all the proceedings that they would normally have to do in a regular, if a bank was to do the same exact thing. You're going to have to go to court. They're going to have to, do what they have to do so that they can get back the property. So that's the first con. And then the second con is normally for a seller to do seller financing, they have to own the property free and clear. And so with that being said, I mean, what are the chances of that happening? It doesn't happen very much where there is a bunch of sellers that just own the property free and clear, because we know the name of the game in real estate is leverage, right? But you will find that sometimes, and it is best to always ask and try to figure out a deal. And normally what you will see is when you're looking for properties, it will be stated in whatever the description of the property is, seller financing, or if you're driving around, it'll say seller financing underneath the for sale sign. So look out for those things, guys. So this is how you can get into your first property, no money down, using seller finance, guys. I hope you enjoyed the value of this video. I'm gonna help you get into your first property, guys. Like I always say at the end of my videos, I will get you into your first property. I want to make sure that you look at this next video here and continue with the education that get you into your first property. You're going to need all of these things because education and knowledge of what you're doing and how you're planning and strategizing is key. So watch this next video. It will help you and continue to help you to find out which way is best for you to get into your first rental property. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.